Today I'm going to show you how to sew a very simple doll dress. It's easy to sew, but most importantly, it's easy to put on and take off. So it's perfect for small doll moms and dads who are not that handy yet. The pattern is free. You can find the link to download it under this video and simply print the pattern out. It's available in 3 different sizes. The pattern has only 2 pieces, one for the front and back and one for the sleeves. You will need an elastic sewing band for the drawstring like this and magic sewing thread. For the fabric you can either use woven cotton fabric or jersey. Okay, first we cut it to size. Both pattern parts are cut twice and unfold. To do this, lay your fabric folded in the middle with the grain pointing away from you. Now you put the pattern pieces here like this and cut that out. We do this twice for each pattern piece. And when you've finished cutting, you can put one of the front and back pieces aside. Now we start by sewing the sleeves to the front part. In fact, these 2 edges belong together. If you have a fabric that has a right and a wrong side, then you have to make sure that you put right sides together here. With my fabric it doesn't matter because it doesn't have a wrong side. If you prefer, you can fix the fabric with pins. And now I'm going to top stitch these seams here with a seam allowance of about ½ centimeter or 0.2 inch. This is how it looks now. Next, you can finish the fabric edge with an overlock machine, or if you don't have one, you can simply go over the edge again with a sewing machine with the zigzag stitch so it doesn't fray. And now we do exactly the same thing on the other side with the back part. That means I have the sleeves here and put the back part now in the opposite direction. And now I pin these 2 edges together and these 2. Now I'll stitch the seams here and finish them up afterwards. This is how it looks now. Next we sew the sleeve hems. To do this, you can either finish the fabric edge with the overlock machine and then simply fold it inwards once and top stitch it. Or you fold it twice, and that's how I do it. I use some pins to fix it, and I always put them at an angle because if I put them like this, the seam can slip to the left and right. And when I put them this way, I can't sew properly because they hinder the needle. So I always put the pins diagonally. If your fabric is difficult to fold and slips away, then it makes sense to iron it beforehand, then it will be much easier. And next I'm going to top stitch the hem here along the edge on both sides. Alright, this is how it looks now. Next we can fold the dress up here at the sleeves and lay the sides on top of each other and pin them together. And now we're going to sew the side seams here with a seam allowance of ½ centimeter or 0.2 inch and overlock them afterwards. Okay, this is what it looks like now. And I don't cut off the overlock threads hanging here on the sleeve. Instead, I push my needle back into the seam for about ½ inch, then put my thread onto the needle and pull it back into the seam. And now I can cut it off. Likewise on the other side. Alright, now let's sew up the drawstring. The drawstring is sewn in the same way as the sleeve hems. That means you fold it inwards twice and then fix it with pins. And this is how it looks now. Now I'm going to top stitch it all around, just along the edge. But I leave a little bit open at the back so I can put my elastic band in there later. Okay, here we are. This is my opening. Next, I cut a piece of my elastic band. And if you use such a thin elastic like I do here, then I would double it up to make it more tear resistant. Now I use my turning needle, but if you don't have one, you can also use a thick sewing needle, for example a darning needle, and then simply push it backwards, meaning with the eyelet first through the drawstring so that the tip doesn't get caught in the fabric. And now I just go into the drawstring and pull my elastic through. Coming out on the other side, and now I'm tying this up. If you have your doll with you, you can try it on so you can see how tight the neckline should be to make the dress fit well. And then you can tie this together. And now cut off the ends. Now we quickly stitch up the little opening with the sewing machine. Okay, now we're almost done. All we have left to do is top stitch the bottom hem. And we do this the same way as the drawstring and the sleeve hems. That means we fold it inwards twice and fix it diagonally with pins. And if you have pinned it all around, you can top stitch it. Okay, now we can turn the whole thing right side out, and before I iron it out, I'll sew a little embellishment here on the hem. It's a cotton lace band, but you can of course omit that if you want. Now I've stitched the band on here, and at the end I simply fold it inwards and stitch it up so that it's neatly finished. Alright, and now the dress is finished. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you found the video helpful, please leave me a like. And if you want to sew more doll clothes or learn how to sew a doll, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.